Hello and welcome to TerrainComposer 2. I have news for you. I've been developing a new terrain tool that will give you freedom beyond your imagination, not forgetting the simplicity, especially made for beginners, but also without boundaries for all professional requirements. This is not a tutorial, I just want to show you briefly a few new features of TerrainComposer 2. Okay, let's get started. This is the TerrainComposer 2 node window, and here is the inspector. So currently I have this node selected and we are in stem mode. So let's drag and drop Mountaineer. This is actually Mountaineer from the 24-hour demo, and we can use the Unity move tools to move things around, and the scale tool, and let's scale it down. Actually I want to create a little base here for mountain, so let's make it bigger, scale it down. Now we can see that the image turns blue, and that means that we are under the terrain. And if we go up, and if the image turns red, it means that we are above it. So let's go down again, and let's normalize this by activating this curve. So what is below 0 will be 0, and I duplicate this one with Ctrl D, and let's scale it down and up. So I want to create a little mountain on top of it with the same stamp, and I want to scale the base higher, and let's rotate this one. Now these two filters or nodes, they are in a group, and what you see here is the result. Then we are able to mask this, and we can put a nice stamp in there, this one. And let's scale it up, and of course it needs to be lower, so we really have like an island, and we can activate a curve, the local one, and let's put this, so it's like a nice little island. It already was, but now it looks different. And this is a mask, so if we disable it we get the original one. Now we enable it and we select the layer, and then we have the totality of this, and we can drag it around, scale it up or down, move it up or down. So to just show you how the flowchart is, let's duplicate this layer with Ctrl D, and now we have another layer with the same island on top, and it is like this. Now the workflow goes from left to right, from bottom to top. So we can take a look at the hierarchy. So we select this filter. TerrainComposer 2 first generates this filter, then it processes this one based on the method you have here. You get a result, then a mask, and then the result is here in the layer. Then it will process the next layer. It goes up, go all the way to the right to this layer, and this layer is added, and we have a result in the group here. And we can also choose another method like overlay, so it goes from one to the other. There are all kinds of mixtures here. Max is then that it only, I have to select this one, that it will select the maximum height between the two. Then on top of that we have the group here, and we can mask this as well. So let's duplicate this mask here and delete that one. So I have this mask, and on top of that we can duplicate this group, and now we have two of them, and we can put a mask again. So here you can see and move the totality here. You can see really the power of TerrainComposer 2, and it processes all these nodes and it updates them instantly, and that is because TerrainComposer 2 generates completely on the graphics card, so it is really fast. And yes, I think this is, yeah, it's. So if I zoom out, you can see these two groups together. I delete the mask here, I can take this group and blend it with this one, but let's delete it again. If you click minus here, also the mask, so I want to put this one to overlay now, put something here like canyons. Canyons, where are you? Basal canyons are these ones, are nice. So we can scroll it down, we zoom it in. So here we have a little other terrain, and let's put something on top here, like another mountain. Okay, we can activate this one, scale it up, move it more. Yes. Okay, and what I want to do now is to take this little script here, and we're basically going to put this on a game object, and it will just rotate or translate or move. So let's do that. I select this one, and do add component, move object, and let's start it rotating. So here you can see the power of the GPU, that it really animates the terrain. So we have this one, and then let's select the other layer group, and let's also put the move object in. Let's rotate it the other way. So, and now we can see in the preview that everything is rotating, and we can decrease here the strength, and it goes from one terrain to the other. So, and yeah, it's you can move everything around, every little adjustment, everything stays there. So yeah, I think it's really it's something. So, and another thing is that TerrainComposer, it generates everything in world space. So if I select the terrain here, and if I move the terrain around, you'll notice that everything stays in its place. So you can imagine how this will stream. And of course, and I won't show that now, but I will show that in a later video. So let's put it back. I deleted everything because I want to move over to texturing, but I want to show you one more feature, is that you can just drag and drop to save and drag and drop to load. So I load something that I made before, was just a little test, as you can see here. It's a group in a group. Okay, so let's move over to texturing. So let's enable a splat, and we have our group and our layer here. So let's add a node here, which is based on height, and let's add two splat textures. I choose here grass, and this is a select node, so we put here the rule on height. So if we click on the totality here, we can see what's going on, that the sand texture, which is red, is on the bottom. So if this totality here has a between this color and the black color, then it will choose red. If it is above here with the white, then it chooses the blue color. So then we can influence that weight here with the sliders, and you can see how that happens. And I think this way with the visual is much easier to understand what is going on. And you can see how nicely it updates with the GPU instantly. Okay, so I want to make a mixture between two sand textures, and we can also put this on another rule like angle and see what effect it has. So let's add a noise filter. So I'm doing it here, make a new node. I could have chosen the other node, but okay, here is the Perlin. Let's normalize it here, and we have to bring the strength up. There it's going to show. So I want to have a lower frequency, and it needs to be actually more bigger, but I want it to blend. So what I need to do is reduce the strength and increase the height. Something like this, and less strength actually. It's just a matter of blending here. But I want it to fade a little bit out. Okay. a little bit bigger. This looks good. So yeah, it's a lot of tweaking but you can see it updating instantly, so it's really easy. And the yellow, so the blue is for selecting, and we can actually close these to get the overview. And the yellow is for masking. So if we add a circle here, you can see we have a flashlight on our texturing, which is opens the door for biomes and you name it. Okay, so let's remove it and let's do something on top of here, the rock texturing here. So we have a little desert, copying this one. So these two layers are added to each other, which makes it over bright. We can enable normalize here, then it will normalize. So, but we need to put our rock textures here, and now it would blend, but we want to use overlay, so it is on top. Then we want to use a mask, not with our circle, but with terrain angle. So input angle, and then we can use this curve to influence that. So we drag it to the left to have it more on steep angles, and we can drag this one to the right. And we have it updating instantly, so you can see instant results. Then I want to have brown textures a little bit under it, so this one should show, this one brown. Okay, then a little bit different angle here. We want to show it a little bit more under there. Yes, and a little bit more to the side here. So we have a little fall off. And yes, so it's quite rocky. I think it's a little bit too much. So we could add something here like grass. So let's do that. So let's take our base layer and duplicate it here, and we put this to overlay, and this time we use a mask with this one, and let's change this to our grass textures. So, and let's zoom our mask. You should not go in the red here, so we normalize it, and here you can see already that we want the mountain to be greeny and maybe what's behind there too. So, and here you can really see the power of TerrainComposer, the blend master. Okay, now we don't want to show it on the steep angle, so we take this little mask here with the angle, we duplicate it, and we invert this curve. And then we need to put this to minimum, because now they are added to each other, but we need the minimum value between these two. And now you can see the nice grass blending, and we can take the layer and basically, or actually the mask is good enough, we can move this around to get a nice blending here. And then actually what I want is some overruling here too, but so I want more grass here to show, and we can do this by selecting this curve and making it go a little bit up. So actually we need to put it to 0, we right click at another curve and try to select only one of them, move it away like that, just put it to the right, maybe too much. Let's see if we move this one up. Something more like that, maybe even more. Okay, so yeah, you can see you can really create biomes very easily. This is of course a very small terrain. You can make a really big terrain with many tiles, but I will show that later. We can basically animate seasons if we select this node here and drag the mask down. You'll see that it becomes like desert. If you put it up, yes, it becomes summer. So you can see that up close. So we put the mask down, we have desert, put it up, and we have summer. So and another thing, we can view this in high resolution. So let's enable height, go to the terrain, and to resolutions here, put it to 2K, and let's see how fast that updates. Apply, and there it is. So here we have it in 2K resolution, both of it. It updated in 1 second, I think. Thank you very much for watching, and I started runtime, and this is just a tip of the iceberg what I showed today. I have so much more to show, and stay tuned, and talk to you soon.